Friends, Doc South with you, and I think you'll like this. I just thought of two neat buildings that I know about, and I thought you'd get a charge, perhaps. I can't say where they are because I don't think they're open necessarily to the public, but I did get to see them. Um, One was well, I was doing an interview with one of my, when I had my internet radio station in a town here in Northwest Jersey. It was the interview went well, and when I was done, the fellow I was, that was my guest, said, "Doc, you want to see something cool in this building? You've got to see this." I said, "Well, yeah, sure. What?" He says, "Come on." He says, "Now we were something like on the fifth floor, and again, it's one of the towns here in Northwest Jersey." And he said, "Come on, let's go down to the second floor. You got to see this." It was second or third floor, one of the lower floors, not the ground floor. And he said, "Look at this. Look at this. We're on, let's call it the second floor. We come out of the stairwell, and I walk across a hallway. He says, 'Now watch this.' There were these double doors, these big oak. I think they were oak doors, real fancy wood. They open up. I go walking in. The lights get turned on, and I'm in this beautiful ballroom or a meeting room. It was one or the other. If this was a corporate headquarters, this was probably where everybody met, and this had meetings, or perhaps at Christmas time, this might be where the company Christmas party was held. And it was beautiful. There was just gorgeous window curtains up that were beautiful, and the windows were well done, and just just gorgeous. But on the ceiling, there was this big round inlaid design, absolutely godforsaken, beautiful, beautiful. Someone must have been there on a scaffold on his back for a year putting this thing together, because all of it was inlay, all kinds of exotic woods cut into different shapes to form this beautiful design. I can't even begin to describe it, but it was breathtaking. Oh, it was the work involved, just the work involved. I, I mean, the guy, whoever did it, or the crew that did it, must have woke up in the morning and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna." It had to be fun to do, and at the same time, it had to take for doggone ever. And the building is. I don't think the room's used for much of anything anymore, but there it sits. It's sort of a shame someone doesn't. I mean, I honestly think you could charge admission to go in there and take a look, and you certainly could charge for a party there. Oh, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Best I can say. It, you, nowadays, you go into you go into a store or one thing or another, an office. Nothing. There's that. What is it? There's fluorescent lights, and there's fiberboard up on the ceiling, or that insulated stuff that falls apart if you look at it funny, right? Nothing to look at. Nothing to look at. Maybe, well, you can have fun, I guess, looking for how many times someone's thrown a pen up to the ceiling and it stuck like a Bowie knife into the ceiling. This particular ceiling design, or special ceiling in a town here in Northwest Jersey, was just utterly, totally beyond belief. Absolutely beyond belief. What was the other thing? Oh, Sandy and I at one time had the money to travel a little, and we used to love to go down to Williamsburg, Virginia. Williamsburg, Virginia, and Colonial Williamsburg, and which is I highly recommend it, especially if you're a student of American history, because when you go there, you actually step back into the 1700s, and the people that work the museum, the various characters and all, stay in the character as if they were, and you along with them, are now in the 1700s. Yeah. And the British have just landed down in Yorktown and they're coming up. Kind of ticked because Colonial Williamsburg, I guess, was the capital of Virginia back then, I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And they declared, the Congress declared, that they're dissolving from the King of England. Well, you can imagine that goes over real big with the British troops. So there was going to be trouble. And, and the town basically is in that colonial time frame. Well, they got a building, and you'd almost walk right by it. Frankly, it almost looks, if I recall right, it didn't look like much. It just looked like, a nice enough building, but what could be going on in there? It must be a not a museum. It must be the offices or something of the place. Well, downstairs, they have a museum. And you go in there, and they have all sorts of stuff. Okay, all sorts of books, leather-bound books. One of them kind of spicy in nature. Yeah, darn near pornographic, but from the 1700s. Yeah, some pretty wild etchings in there. But they also have somewhere in the middle of of this big room, this basement room, there is at least last we, Sandy and I saw, and that had to be 15, 20 years ago now, there was a set of silver that they must have used for parties, the banquets and all, that the governor would hold, the British governor, eventually the American governor. And this was silver that all of it was made by hand, and the designs on it. Oh my God. Sandy looked at that and said, she says, come back and see me in about an hour. She's just looking at it all. Oh, it was gorgeous. It had to be worth millions. And there it sits. And I guess for $1 or $2, you can go down into that particular museum. It's part of the Colonial Williamsburg thing. And there it sits. And oh my God, so gorgeous. It's amazing the wonderful things that are around. I know I was DJing a car show for a car club, local car club up. They run out of the Blairstown area, the Delaware Water Gap area, and I was doing a car show for them. And they said, "Doc, see that building behind you? And there was a building that looked like it was going through some renovation. That was evidently the building where the rich people from New York would come and stay at the Water Gap. When summer was too hot in New York, they would go to the, gosh, I can't think of the town right now. Maybe it'll come to me, but it's right, it's right across the river from the Water Gap. Delaware Water Gap, I think, might be the name of the town. I'm not sure, but it was where Fred Waring and his Pennsylvanians used to do concerts. Yeah, all sorts of famous people were there to sing and put on shows. And I didn't get to go in the building. I could have. They're renovating it to back when it was first built. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous stuff. In fact, they're I think over in Delaware Water Gap, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I think they're trying to rebuild. The last I heard, they were trying to rebuild the fancy station, where everybody came out of New York up to Delaware Water Gap, got out there, and then up to the hotel. There'd be a wagon, a wagon to meet them and take them on up, horse-drawn. Yeah, of course. And they'd all stay and party for a week or two, get the cool air, and eventually go back to the sweltering city. All this stuff's around. It's just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Anyway, I just thought I'd say. I'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless. Bye now.